Jeff, little weather today forced you guys to practice in the dome. How was that?
Yeah, luckily Andrew did a good job of Costa getting us some buses and get us escort downtown. And Alamo Dome was very hospitable, and appreciate those guys for letting us back in there. And the turf is still down, so those guys let us in there. So we caught a real break.
Jeff, we saw a lot of tight ends play for you guys in the opener. What does it do for the offense to be able to get those guys involved to that extent and that many of them?
Just a lot of multiple things we can do. They're big, they're fast, they can catch, they can block, they can run. Hunter and Coach Burke and my brother, who've all coached those tight ends since we've been here, have done a good job recruiting that room. And so it's just a way for us to be very multiple.
For Owen at quarterback, is there anything different for him this week and even last week since being named the starter and kind of having that role all to himself? Does that change anything about his approach?
He had known he's going to be the starter for a while. I talked to him and Eddie quite a bit before the game, and those guys did a really good job of just keeping their mouths shut. And so they had known for a while.
We maybe saw a little bit of it in the first half, but when, in your opinion, when is Owen McCown at his best as a quarterback?
I don't think we know that just yet. He's had 10 quarters with us. Of course, he had the 4 games at Colorado his true freshman year, so he's getting some. But as for us, I think we're all figuring that stuff out still.
What's your favorite part about him?
Probably how calm he is, how cool he is, how tough he is. But again, I know I keep always bringing up Eddie. Eddie has those same qualities. So it was a tough decision because both those kids are so wonderful and they're really good players. And I believe we'll need Eddie at some point this year for sure.
How much freedom does Owen have to switch up plays at the line of scrimmage or change routes and things like that pre-snap?
It just depends on the play call. Some plays are made for that, and some are call it and haul it. They're good against everything, and some are more defensive specific. So it just depends on the tag.
I know you mentioned with Frank, like early in his career, he didn't do much of that, and by the end, he was very plugged in. Where is Owen kind of on that scale?
Yeah, I'd say he's as a coaching staff, we're just more advanced, and we're probably better at knowing that. We've been doing the same thing together for so long now. So I'd say he's pretty. He changes. There's plays down in the red zone. He changed the other day for touchdowns. So yeah, he's got a pretty good handle on that. And him and Frank were together for a year too, so he got to watch Frank do that as well.
How did he do with the RPO reads this week?
Early he was fantastic. As the game moved on, he had a few more mistakes. I personally believe I've said it, I think we got him hit too much. And no quarterbacks, I don't care how tough they are, like to get hit. There's probably some of those, he probably just made his mind up. He's handing them off because he wasn't feeling real good and didn't want to get whacked again. So I don't know that I blame him personally.
Were some of those running back misses or offensive line miscues? How have you identified some of those?
Yeah, 2 of them were running back, just 7th grade installs. Just bad ball, bad on me. And then a couple were just us, Kennesaw just done a great job with their technique and beating us on our offensive line. And then one of them was we didn't give Owen a chance in an empty protection. I feel bad about that. We should have done better for him. So I'd say a little bit of all of us. It doesn't matter, it's all me. They're all my kids, and I'm the one coaching them, so all of it's me.
Generally speaking, do you want Owen to take some shots downfield if there's one-on-one coverage, or is it okay if he just makes kind of safer throws underneath and moves you down the field that way?
No, if it's we want to throw the ball down the field when we can. There's times to, and there's times not. But you guys are harsh, man. Kids 2-0 now.
To that extent, you guys have won 9 out of 10 games, and you were talking yesterday a lot about how you guys need to fix things and get things right. But at the same time, I mean, your team is underdog on Saturday, but you guys won 9 out of 10 games.
Yeah, I said this yesterday, and I feel this way. It's when you know you're at a good place that's been winning a lot. When your crowd's disappointed, your media's disappointed, the players are disappointed, the assistant coach are disappointed, and the head coach is disappointed. So it's when you know you've won a lot of games, and our people are used to seeing good football, and they knew they got to see good football early, and they didn't get to see it late. So they're expressing their frustrations. It's
This will be
the value of the paying customer.
y'all's first trip to San Marcos since 2020, when that was your debut game. What do you remember about that game and that trip?
I thought I was a great coach for a half. This college football is a piece of cake, man. I remember the second half. At halftime, I saw them over there working on full slide protection. At halftime, they were installing it. You got to remember it's COVID. We had half our playbook in. They probably had half theirs in. And our defensive staff asked me. They said, "What are they doing over there right now at halftime?" I said, "Boys, they're working on full slide protection. They're fixing the max protect and throw this thing over our head for the whole second half." And they said, "Because we don't have any cover 8, cover 2 in. All we got's our pressure packages." I said, "Well, y'all fixing to get a lot of deep balls." And second half, there was more bombs coming at us. They max protected. They did a great job getting back in the game, and we were very fortunate to be out there with the W.
What about that environment? It was pretty hostile back then. Probably going to be a lot of the same.
I don't know. It was COVID.
Right.
So I didn't get to experience that. But I've heard they've got, tremendous support. I know the president and AD are always, being very supportive of GJ. I see that. And I think I saw them jumping in rivers or creeks and lakes last year. So I know they're having a good time. It's a fun time when you flip a place and you're on the rise like those guys are doing right now. So I'm sure those guys will be juiced up and ready to go for the old Roadrunners to come to town.
Have you talked to GJ at all this week? Will you talk to GJ at all this week before the game?
I'm surprised we haven't, but no, we have not. I don't know if he's being might be being the old wily veteran on me right now, being a little, I don't know what he's up to.
You're not going to make the first move?
Oh, I'll probably reach out if he doesn't holler at me by Wednesday or Thursday just to make sure he's not going to beat me too bad.
All right, Jeff.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Appreciate it.